from knowledge to wisdom, from intellectual spirituality to embodied wisdom. Do you ever feel like you know all the spiritual truths, but still react with anxiety, anger, and fear when life gets hard? In this video, we are bridging the gap from knowledge to wisdom and moving from intellectual spirituality to embodied wisdom. Most people think they're evolving, but the truth is, knowledge alone doesn't change anyone. Today, I'm going to show you why your smartest insights fall apart the moment life gets hard and how to finally embody the wisdom you already know. You have read the books, you understand the concepts, you can probably quote Marcus Aurelius, Eckhart Tolle, or the Tao Te Ching by heart. Intellectually, you know that this too shall pass and that you are not your thoughts. But in the heat of the moment, when stress hits, when tragedy strikes, or when daily life just grinds you down, does that knowledge actually help? Or does it stay locked in your head while your body reacts with the same old anxiety and anger? There is a massive canyon between knowing the truth and living it. Today, we are bridging that gap. We are moving from being a library of spiritual knowledge to becoming an embodiment of wisdom. Welcome back to the Inspired Wisdom Academy. Today, we are tackling the most difficult step in self-improvement and personal development: embodiment, walking the talk. Many of us fall into the trap of intellectual spirituality. We collect insights like trading cards. We understand the truths of life conceptually, but our nervous systems are still wired for reaction, fear, and scarcity. True wisdom isn't what you know, it's what you are. It's what happens when the concepts drop from your brain down into your cells, your breath, and your actions. In this video, we are moving beyond theory. I'm going to walk you through specific research-backed embodiment practices, including mindful movement, grounding, and somatic emotional processing, that will help you actually live these truths, not just think about them. Section 1. The Physiology of Wisdom. First, we need to understand why reading isn't enough. When you read a spiritual truth, you are engaging your prefrontal cortex, the logical, analytical part of your brain. This creates a neural pathway for information. However, your habits, your emotional reactions, and your baseline state of being live in your autonomic nervous system and your body's fascia. You cannot think your way out of a nervous system response. You have to feel your way through it. Think of it like swimming. You can read every book on hydrodynamics and stroke mechanics. You can understand the physics of buoyancy perfectly. But until you get in the water and your muscles learn how to push against the resistance, you are not a swimmer. You are just a person who knows about swimming. So, if wisdom isn't something you read, but something you train into your body, what does that look like in practice? Let's start with the first real embodiment tool that rewires your system from the inside. To live a deeply meaningful life, we must translate philosophy into physiology. We do this through somatic practice, using the body to retrain the mind. Let's look at the first method. Section 2. Mindful movement, flowing with truth. The first practice is mindful movement. This isn't about exercise or burning calories. It's about observing how energy moves through you. Research into embodiment shows that slow, deliberate movement helps synchronize your intention with your action. When we talk about going with the flow or non-resistance, these are abstract ideas. But when you practice Tai Chi, Qigong, or slow yoga, you are physically rehearsing the act of non-resistance. Try this simple practice, the slow cat-cow into downward dog. But here is the key. You must do it at half the speed you think you should. As you arch your back, inhale, and feel the concept of opening to life. As you round your spine, exhale and feel the physical sensation of surrender. Notice the transition points. In life, we often fear change. In mindful movement, we pay strict attention to the transition between postures. How do you move from one state to another? Do you rush? Do you hold your breath? By keeping your attention on the physical sensation of the transition, you are training your nervous system to remain calm during life's transitions. You are teaching your body that change is safe. This is how you embody the truth of impermanence. You've now seen how movement can turn philosophy into muscle memory. But movement is just the beginning. Before you can rise higher, you need deep roots. Let's talk about the grounding practice that completely changes your baseline energy. Section 3. Grounding roots before branches. The second practice is grounding. Spiritual seekers often spend too much time in the upper chakras, or the head, thinking about high-level concepts. But a tree cannot grow tall without deep roots. If you feel spacey or disconnected, you have lost your foundation. The most effective way to reintegrate is through the feet. I want you to try this daily ritual. Spend 5 minutes walking barefoot. It can be outside on the grass or inside on the floor. As you stand, close your eyes. Feel the soles of your feet. Imagine roots extending from your heels and toes deep into the earth. This isn't just visualization. It is a sensory check-in. Feel the texture, feel the temperature. When you walk, slow down. Place the heel, then roll through the foot to the toe. Why do this? Because anxiety lives in the future. Regret lives in the past. But your feet are always right here, right now. You cannot have a footstep in tomorrow by focusing your attention entirely on the contact between your skin and the ground. You physically anchor your consciousness in the present moment. This turns the concept of the power of now into a physical reality. You aren't thinking about the now, you are standing in it. Once you're grounded and present, the next question becomes, how do you calm the mind when emotions get loud? The answer lies in the bridge between your body and your awareness, your breath. Let's go there. Section 4, Breath and Somatic Processing. Now, let's talk about the bridge between the body and the mind, the breath. When we are stuck in our heads, our breathing becomes shallow and high in the chest. This signals to the body that we are in danger. To embody peace, we must breathe peacefully. We use the 3-part breath. Place one hand on your belly, one on your ribs. 1, inhale deeply, expanding the belly first. 2, then expand the ribs. 3, finally, let the air fill the upper chest. Exhale in reverse. Chest, ribs, belly. Combine this with the open mouth sigh. Inhale fully, and then let it out with an audible sigh. Ha! That sound is the sound of the vagus nerve resetting. It is the physical sound of letting go. But what happens when difficult emotions arise? This leads us to our most profound practice, emotion-focused embodiment. Usually, when we feel sadness or anger, we try to analyze it. Why am I angry? It's because he said that thing. We go into the story. To embody wisdom, you must drop the story and find the sensation. Where is the anger in your body? Is it a tightness in the chest? A heat in the throat? A knot in the stomach? Locate it. Describe it. I feel a cold, sharp pressure in my solar plexus. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to heal it. Just sit with the physical sensation. By doing this, you are teaching your brain that you can tolerate discomfort without reacting. You are building emotional resilience. This is how you move from controlling your emotions to holding space for them. Now that you can breathe through discomfort and stay with your emotions instead of fighting them, the final step is weaving all of this into your actual daily life. Let me show you the simplest way to turn wisdom into a habit. Section 5. Integrating rituals into daily life. These practices, movement, grounding, breath, and somatic feeling, should not just be things you do for 20 minutes in the morning. They are micro-habits for the day. This brings us to the sensory body scan. Set a timer on your phone for 3 random times a day. When it goes off, stop. Do a 30-second scan. Are your shoulders raised? Drop them. Is your jaw clenched? Relax it. What is the temperature of the air on your skin? When you eat, taste the food. When you listen to someone, watch their eyes, not your phone. The transition from knowledge to wisdom is simply the accumulation of these small moments of presence. It is choosing over and over again to come back to the body. The truths of life are beautiful concepts, but written on a page, they are just ink. They only become truth when they are alive in you. When your body remains calm in chaos, that is wisdom. When your breath remains deep during conflict, that is wisdom. When you feel your feet on the ground instead of getting lost in your head, that is wisdom. When these tiny practices stack up throughout your day, wisdom stops being a concept and becomes your default way of living. So now the only question is, which embodiment ritual will you choose to start today? I challenge you this week. Pick one of these practices. Maybe it's the barefoot walking or the 3-part breath. Commit to it for 7 days. Don't just learn it, live it. Let's continue the conversation. Which embodiment practice resonates most with you right now? Is it grounding, breathwork, movement, or emotional processing? Your 7-day challenge. Choose one embodiment practice from this video to commit to for the next week. Mindful movement, slowing down to feel the flow, grounding, 5 minutes of barefoot walking, or sensory check-ins. The 3-part breath, resetting your vagus nerve. Somatic processing, locating emotions in the body instead of the story. Sensory body scan, 30-second presence checks throughout the day. Don't just learn it, live it. Share below. I read every comment, and your insights might help someone else on the same path. If you found value in this, please subscribe to the Inspired Wisdom Academy and turn on notifications. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Which of these embodiment practices resonates most with you? Let me know, and let's start the conversation. Until next time, live the truth.